everybody for coming. I didn't know how loud that was going to be, sorry. Hopefully we'll have a few others straggle in that we're planning to participate at the 7 o'clock program. But we'll go ahead and get started with the PTO portion of this so that we can move rather quickly this evening. We have a few things that we do need to accomplish, and I told my daughter I was going to say that we could burn through it as faster than hot coals on a paper plate, and then I realized that was a little bit too much like the Call of the Wild Man we've been watching on Animal Planet. But anyway, we'll try to go quickly through some of this business. Before we get started, however, I would like to say the Pledge of Allegiance and then have a moment of silence. So if everyone could join me in stand up, look at the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And pause for a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so before I get into the PTO business specifically, I do want to recognize a few sets of people that may be here this evening. The first is the PTO Executive Board and our committee chairs. So if you all could please just stand, you're quite visible. You're quite sure. Thank you very much for all you do. Okay, and all of those, plus those who served on the Track Attack Committee, if you have any other people here from Track Attack Committee this evening. And then all of those folks and any other PTO committees, like Hospitality Committee, if you serve on any other PTO committee as a volunteer, if everybody would please stand for those groups. Wow, we've got shy people this evening. All right. Well, we just wanted to thank you for your hard work, because we do know that a lot of our parents are what help us drive out the initiatives that we set forth with the school. So from that perspective, it is my pleasure to officially call the meeting to order. I don't have a watch on, so Tricia, our secretary, I'm sorry. I'll give you the exact time later. Perfect. We have 4 objectives for our meeting this evening. One is to go over the PTO budget, and the second is Track Attack recap. The third is our membership update, and the fourth is our volunteer update. Did we lose Mr. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the budget is actually posted on the website. Some of you may have looked at it before you came here today. If not, we're going to run through it rather quickly. Our income largely comes from the Track Attack Initiative. Our miscellaneous income are our other fundraisers throughout the year that are more passive fundraisers, like box tops, the VIC card, the Food Lion card, Target Red cards, and other things. And then membership is another huge portion of our total income. Our projected income this year is $77,300. And when we look at the expenses, I grouped these a little differently than what you'll see on the website, so I can illustrate exactly where the money goes. For events and programs at the school, it's $23,850. For facilities, materials, and staff support, it's $51,850. And the administrative amount, which is for our insurance and audit fees and things of that nature for the board, is $1,600. So largely, a lot of our income goes directly back to the students and the school, which we're quite proud of. So the special projects allocation that you might notice on there too is also one of the things that we utilize so that we can respond to the school's greatest need of that particular time period. So that is usually designated by the school as to how they want to utilize the special projects money. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now, do I have any questions about the budget information as it has been presented for PTO? No? Do I have anyone who would like to motion for us to move to vote on the budget? Okay, we have one motion. Do I have a second? Okay, all those in favor of the PTO budget for 2012 and 2013, please say yay. Yay. All those opposed, nay. Thank you. The budget has passed. Thank you very much for your support on that. All right, let's move into a little bit about Track Attack from this year. 92. That was the number of parent volunteers that we had participate. 2448 was pizza slices. 11 times I heard Mr. Likes play that Wobble song while we were standing outside. 13 was the record number of seconds. 13. 13th was the record number of seconds on the bull. 174. Oh no! Back up, Mr. Schmidt. Thank you. He was clicking away. Okay. 174 hours of sleep, Melanie Rogers lost as part of the meeting. And we used 3 Band-Aids throughout the day for a couple of months. Okay, for our next slide, obviously our Track and Tech Committee was a hugely talented group of people, and I could gush all over them for all that they did to put this event together. But reaching and even exceeding our goal, I have to attribute to the support from all of the families at Lincoln Charter School. You guys were awesome, so thank you, everybody. We had a goal of $68,000. Through Penny Wars, High School Skip Day, corporate sponsors, family and friends and family donations, our total was $69,600. So back to that, what I mentioned a minute ago with the special projects allocation, because we have now realized that Track and Tech income, we are able to provide to the school some support that they have requested for their priority project of this year, which is to help outfit and set up the elementary campus. And at this time, I would ask, where'd she go? Gayla, would you like to come up here, please, and present Mr. Machado to the administration with the check that we have. For them, a $20,000 check that they can utilize right now. And that's just like in years past when we put money towards some of the other initiatives like technology for the high school when we did help support laptops and things like that. It's all about the master plan for Lincoln Charter. So we're very pleased to be able to present that to you all for this year. Thank you very much. Track and Tech Awards. We also have some people who were exceptional in the fundraising area for Track and Tech this year. We have some winners for the most money for the elementary school, most money for the middle school, most for the high school as far as total fundraising, and then the person who also achieved the most corporate sponsors. So the elementary winner was Michael Allen. For the middle school, for the most raised in total funds was Grace Corcoran. For the high school, it's Taylor Powell. And then the most corporate sponsors overall was Cody Reeves. Their certificate in at the elementary school for some really awesome gift cards through our script program. And thank you, Tricia Nodi, for handing those out. She's one of our awesome Track and Tech. Okay. Next is our elementary classrooms. We always look for which classrooms have the greatest amount of participation. This year, the top 3 elementary classrooms with the highest amount of participation were from Mrs. Elliott's room, Ms. Boner's room, and Ms. David's room. So for those classrooms, we are pleased that we have a sponsor. Cosby Martial Arts Academy will be providing a pizza party for each of those classrooms when the teachers are ready to schedule that. And ice cream for that same party will be sponsored by Chick-fil-A at Mount Island. So we're very excited for that. And then as an entire grade and class for the achievement of exceeding our goal, we have a special day on October 31st at the elementary school. We will be having Pajama Day on October 31st. And at the middle school, it will be a uniform-free day. They get to choose their clothing of the day. So again, congratulations everyone, and thank you everyone for your incredible hard work. All right, next I want to just touch on membership, because that again is one of the significant portions of our fundraising every year. We thank you if you have already joined the PTO. We've had a considerable amount of participation this year, and we're very excited about that. So far, we're at $8,506, and our goal for the year is $9,000, so we're tracking pretty well. We're still growing. Each of the individual membership levels is listed online if you're interested in going out and joining if you haven't yet. You still have time to do that. You also have an opportunity to upgrade your current membership if you would like to jump up to the gold or the platinum level and get in on the next drawing for, we have a couple of things, the preferred parking spaces. I don't know if you've seen that, but there's now a sign outside that says the raffle winner from the PTO memberships, where you get a special space for 3 months at the school. So we'll be drawing for that again relatively soon. That lasts, I think, through December, and then we'll draw another parking space family winner for that. And then also we'll be drawing on October 30th, Christy, is that right? For the winners of the preferred seating at the Christmas program. So you'll get up to six spaces where you will have a place to sit. You won't have to be hiding in the corner and worried about coming in a little late. So if you'd like to still join PTO, please go to the website. We also have some forms here tonight, so come grab me if you'd like to fill out a form this evening. And that's all for membership. The next thing that I wanted to touch on is Terry Bache, who's our VP of Volunteers. She's been doing some great work in trying to help the school to fill their volunteer needs. And by doing that, she's got a great database she's set up, and she'll tell you a little bit about how to become a volunteer if you haven't yet.
Hello, Lincoln Charter families. My name is Terry Bache, and I am your PTO VP of Volunteers. And I am coordinator of your volunteer at lincolncharter.org web address. One of our core values here at Lincoln Charter is service, and we're very blessed to have a lot of volunteers who do a lot of different things for our community. So why exactly is volunteering so important, and how do our students benefit? When parents are involved, students tend to achieve more. The more extensive our parent involvement, the higher the student achievement. Students with involved parents generally have higher grades and test scores, better attendance, and more consistently completed homework. Students with involved parents have greater graduation rates. Increased adult involvement causes students to have better attitudes, more motivation, and higher self-esteem. Suspension and disciplinary rates drop, and antisocial behavior decreases. Research indicates that when caring adults are involved in education, students do better in school and in life. Adults become empowered, and schools and communities grow. Students do best when schools, families, and communities work together and involvement is strong. Connecting schools, families, and communities is a key component to fostering higher educational aspirations and motivating students. Each year, our school asks each family to complete 30 hours of service. So what exactly is this volunteer at lincolncharter.org? Well, it's a resource for our administration, our teachers, and our PTO board. They can send a request for volunteer for different activities, and that volunteer request is sent out. Now, who is that volunteer request sent out to? Well, first I'd like to thank the hundreds of families that are already part of the distribution list for volunteer at lincolncharter.org. And for those families who haven't signed up yet, I want to help you get your 30 hours of volunteer service in by providing you those volunteer opportunities. And to get added to this distribution list, all you have to do is send me an email to volunteer@lincolncharter.org and give me your name and your email address. If within your family you have more than one email address that you use, go ahead and send multiple. That's even better. And we hope that you continue to volunteer with our school and get even more involved, because we know in the end our students and our community will be better for it. Thanks.
Once again, I just want to thank everybody for your involvement with PTO, your support of PTO, because obviously that support of PTO goes straight back to the school as much as we possibly can give. So we do appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you, and I thank Mr. Schmitz for being our superb A&D coordinator back there this evening. And I will turn the microphone over to our next event for the night. Oh, and by the way, since PTO is done with our major fundraiser for this evening, you'll still see a few clubs hanging around that are trying to sell stuff. They're selling chocolate out there, and I think they're selling some car wash tickets and stuff like that, which I know I need, so I'll be stopping by. And Melissa Lasarski, where are you? I saw you in here. She's got these awesome buttons now that a lot of people haven't seen yet that say Proud LCS Mom or Proud LCS Dad or stuff like that. So if you want one of those, you have to stop by the high school.
We're elementary. Thank you. I want to, on behalf of our entire staff and school population, I want to thank our PTO for another fantastic job. If you're on the board or a committee, you mind standing up again? Just one more time. Just know that you look awful good in that Red Sox red. I appreciate that. I swear. And if you are a LCS staff person, would you stand up now? We are absolutely blessed to have probably the finest staff, I don't know, in the country. We really appreciate all your hard work. And I would, $69,000 track tag. Debbie Byers, our very first track tag. Where's Debbie? What was it? Yeah. 10 years ago when we started it, I think we hit $12,000. We thought we were very proud of that. We were, but $69,000 is amazing. And it gives us the opportunity to do so many things. Not only help fund the playground, but support the teachers in their classrooms and things like that. So thank you so much for all your hard work. I'd also like to, you find it have a seat? I'd like to introduce our administrative staff. Everybody, we're not familiar with who everybody is. Mr. Jonathan Bryant, Assistant Chief Administrator. Chrissy Hutchinson, Elementary Principal, Lesson Coordinator. Mike Hartshorn, Assistant Principal. Daniel Smits is Assistant Principal at our Lincoln campus. New assignment, did a fantastic job. Christina Williams, Dean of Students of Middle School. Tiffany Mosheri, our curriculum coordinator, who will be talking in just a minute about our new curriculum. 2 more months, guys, we're going to be moving into this unbelievably gorgeous building behind us. And I want to talk just a little bit about the quick things about it. First of all, if you received an alert now from us, you'll also receive a PTO for asking to volunteer. We're going to move on the 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Okay, right before Christmas. We're going to move, and we think we've got a pretty good plan. Then after Christmas, our teachers will be setting up, and we'll have a lot of work that needs to be done setting up all classrooms, things like that. So please sign up through the form that we've sent out. And what we're going to do is when you sign up, we will assign you to a job. You'll be telling us what time you're available, and we'll plug you in. We'll confirm the job that you have, and we'll get this move done pretty easy. I think it's going to be a lot easier than my elementary teachers think it's going to be. It's going to be very easy. Just want to talk very briefly. Can you go to the next slide so that explains a little better? Yeah. Okay, I want to give you an aerial view of some of the things that have been happening recently. You see where the blue part represents where the new building is, and as everybody can see, between the rescue squad and the EMS building, we purchased that piece of property, which will be an exit for us to go out. DOT is requiring it to be an exit only and a right-hand turn. So we're very excited about that. It's also going to be some extra parking. We've just recently purchased L-shaped property that will be where our playground and additional parking will be. If you're looking at the building, our school building is right here to the right of it. If you're facing the building to the left, you can see a construction trailer. That is where our playground is going to go. And then just past that, and going down where the construction parking lot is right now, that is where our high school parking is going to be. So we just purchased that property the last several days from Mr. Spears, who owns Westport Body Shop. He was kind enough to give us a very good deal. So now we've got 2 extra pieces of property to handle the traffic flow and to handle extra parking. So we're excited about that. And be able to put our playground. You saw a picture of our playground, and that is what it's going to look like when it's finished. We're going to have to purchase it in phases, and we think we can get a pretty good phase in. It won't be done when school opens up over there, but it will be sometime in January or February, and it's going to be a community build. They're going to come in and set the footings and make everything legal and up to code, and then our parents and family are going to come in and finish the rest of it. That's going to save us an awful lot of money, so we want to make sure that we get a lot of help to do that too. Okay? Anybody that's been in that building comes out of there amazed at how beautiful it is and what it's going to offer. We're extremely excited about it, and can't wait for you guys to see it when you're helping us move. So if anybody's got any questions when it's after me, we're happy to answer any questions you have. Okay? How are we going to do traffic flow? We have no idea. Yeah, we've got a couple of plans we're ironing out right now, and we'll be announcing that hopefully early December. But we think we've got a pretty good plan for that. Okay, now what I want to do is get into our meeting, our first, what we call Parent University. We're going to try to have one of these once a quarter to discuss different things that are going on in our school, and we thought that with the new curriculum that we're instituting, this would be a perfect topic and time to talk about just how it's affecting your child and the difference between the way we're teaching your child this year, or maybe how we did it last year. Okay? I've asked Tiffany Jaffe to come up, and she's going to. Well, Sherry, I'm so sorry. Tell her I'm just in an island up area. I can't help it. She's going to talk about the curriculum, kind of give you the nuts and bolts about it, and then we got some pretty fun games that we've asked parents to be involved in to kind of show the curriculum in person. So, Ms. Sherry, here you go.
Good evening. How are you guys? I'm super nervous, so if you could smile and nod at me a lot, that would be fantastic. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tiffany Mosheri. I'm the curriculum coordinator for kindergarten through 8th grade. I spend a third of my time here at the middle school, high school, a third of my time at the Denver Elementary, and then a third of my time at our Lincoln campus. So I'm in a 3-week rotation. But when the Common Core came about in 2010, we pretty much jumped on the bus and ran with it. Our teachers have been inundated with training on the Common Core and Essential Standards, and the administrative team just thought it was imperative that we educate our families on all of these changes as well, which is why Parent University was birthed. And we are really, really excited that all of you took time out of your schedules to come and just hear about it with us. So, as far as Common Core, that is relating to English language arts and math. The reason it's called Common Core is because these standards have been adopted by 46 other states around the country. We all have the same exact standards, and we will, in the future, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, we will be taking a national assessment so that there will be some commonalities between the states, which will be fantastic. Not only will we be able to learn from other great teachers in our state, but we'll be able to learn from other schools across the country. Now, North Carolina figured since we are changing math and language arts, we might as well update all of the other content area standards as well. So they came up with the North Carolina Essential Standards. These are standards that covered in science, social studies, art, music, technology, PE, and Spanish. These are standards that are only done in North Carolina. They were written to be verbally, they are aligned to the Common Core. So a lot of the same verbiage is used in the standards. So Common Core, English language arts, and math and Essential Standards is every other content area. So what's the big difference between our old standards and our new standards? Our old standards were very two-dimensional. They were all about students knowing basic facts and then being able to almost regurgitate them back out in some form of assessment, such as a standardized test or multiple choice. Almost, I'm going to teach you what 2 + 2 is, and later I'm going to give you problems that are exactly like that. So what we are doing is we're moving to a more three-dimensional model, where not only do you need to know basic facts and how to use them, but overall you're able to apply them to practical, real-world situations. So for you visual learners out there, you can kind of see how this works. We move from the know to be able to understand, but then ultimately, you have to be able to do something with it. I'm currently in another graduate program, and I'm reading a book called Creating Innovators. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of it, but when thinking about explaining the difference, a couple of quotes from the book really stood out for me, and I'm hoping that you guys will kind of, it'll ring a bell with you guys too. But there was an interview done with Kirk Phelps, the creator of the first iPhone, and they did an interview about his classes and what classes really impacted him. And this is what he said about one of his college professors. Was the final exam in his class is not based on having memorized academic content, but rather is an assessment of how well students have used their content knowledge to solve the problem they were given. And it was all about student empowerment and what makes them really self-confident in classes. And they went on to explain that empowerment means students can go out and apply what they've learned to do problems they've never seen before with tools that they've never used before. Because ultimately, that's what we're doing for our children. We are providing them a basis that they are going to be able to apply 20 years from now with jobs that don't even exist right now, that we couldn't even possibly think of. So with the Common Core, we're going to be providing them with different skills, and we're going to expose them to as many things as possible, where they're going to have to think critically and think, how do I apply those basic skills to several different things? And we're going to get into that this evening. Now, you may ask, has anybody read the LCS Curriculum Corner blog in the chatter? Couple people? Ooh, thank you. Good. I have 5 devoted listeners out there. Woo! Maybe after tonight I'll have a whole bunch more. I have focused little snippets of information on all of this every week in the Curriculum Corner on the chatter. So now if you didn't know about it, you know to look for it. But one of my most recent ones was, how is this going to affect what my children are going to be learning? In all actuality, it really won't affect the what they will be learning very much, because Lincoln Charter School, when we opened in 1998, was devoted to a well-balanced curriculum, which is why we chose Core Knowledge. We are an official Core Knowledge visitation site. That means we teach 100% of Core Knowledge topics. For those of you that don't know what Core Knowledge is, we have really, really big boards in the elementary school, as well as in the middle school hallway, that kind of outline all of the big topics that we teach our students. But they specify the literature and nonfiction that we read in English language arts, topics we teach in social studies, science, math, visual arts, and music, as well as science. Did I say science? We are standing by what we have always been devoted to with Core Knowledge. So those topics will not change. Core Knowledge is our vehicle and our tool of how we reach our Common Core and Essential Standards. So the big question is, how will this information, the presentation and the instructional strategy change with our students. That's what is going to look actually very different, because now more than ever, a one-size-fits-all approach does not work. Not that it ever really did, however, now with these new expectations of our students, it really doesn't work. We are moving into a time where individualized instruction is going to be mandatory because our new model is focused all on growth. So just by show of hands, how many of you were math gurus in school? Math was just your thing. Okay. How about literature? English? Language arts? A couple? Good. Science? Yeah. Social studies? Got the artsy kids? Yeah? Okay. Well, and then we have PE. Everybody. Go Red Sox. Anybody just Renaissance man, good at everything? Oh, Mr. Schmitz, I know you wrong. Sky jokes. Well, what we have found is that all of our kids come to us with different skills, different abilities, different talents, and they learn at different speeds. Some get things really quickly. Those of you who are really good at math, you know, language arts might not have been so easy for you, and vice versa. So the whole goal is we have to meet kids where they are. We're no longer evaluating students based off of what they can memorize. We are now evaluating them based off of what they can apply, what they can analyze, what they can evaluate, and what they can create. And that's going to look different because all of their brains look different. So how are we going to personalize this instruction? Well, instruction should look different for different learners in the classroom. Now that doesn't mean just I'm a kinesthetic learner, I'm an auditory learner, or I'm a visual learner, but also talking about those different speeds that we were talking about as well. We want kids who get it really fast, we want to be able to push them to start applying. The ones where this was a harder topic for them, we need to focus and make sure that they understand so that they're able to apply it as well. So that's going to look different in delivery method, in the activities they do in class. They might not be learning the exact same way that Susie next to them is learning. So they might be doing two different projects. And in the same sense, assessing them on what they know. So some of you may have heard some new words called formative and summative assessment. Just so everybody understands what that is, it's kind of teacher language. But formative assessment means those are assessments, activities that give us a gut check of how the students are doing minute by minute, day by day. Did they understand the new information that I went over with them today? Summative assessments are going to refer to mastery. Were they able to long range, they've learned it, and they've been able to apply it. So that's the big difference between formative and summative. If you understand those two things and the purpose for why they did an activity, it's really going to help you understand what they're doing well with in class and what they're having a harder time with. So it should promote a much more productive conversation with the teachers. So I have an example for homework. Ooh, homework, holy moly. For some it's just this awful nightmare, and then for others it's over in 3 seconds. It just depends. So homework shouldn't necessarily only be about rote learning. There's a time for that, but that's not necessarily what it only should be. So for example, how many of us have done the homework where go find the bold print words in the book and then you write out the definition? How many of you still remember what those words are? Yeah, crickets. That's what I thought. So instead, what they might be doing is they may be applying those vocabulary words to a story. Because if they've used them correctly in a story, and they're talking about science, we can pretty much guarantee they know what the word means because they had to use it correctly. And the story, they had to be creative and think critically to think of a non-fiction topic and put it into some kind of narrative story. Okay, so that's just one example. I know I'm telling a really good story up here and you got distracted, but stay on your job back there, Schmitz. So, he's going to shut off my mic soon. He did that to me on Tuesday. He really did. So, keep going on from how this is going to affect the learning that's happening in the classroom is, and I found this quote, hopefully teachers, all of you that are here, you're not offended by this, but the biggest enemy to learning is the talking teacher. That was kind of funny. Now, that doesn't mean that teachers should never talk. That means teachers are being charged with being very purposeful in their delivery of curriculum. If direct instruction, me being the teacher in front of the class like I am right now, is the best way to deliver whatever it is that I want the students to learn, then the teacher knows to do that. But if that's not the best way to present the information, and instead, I wanted to put all of you in collaborative groups, give you small pieces of information that were tailored to your lifestyle level or whatever, and had you discover some information on your own and then report back to me, and then I filled in the gaps of whatever it was that you were missing and I wanted you to know, then I need to do it that way. So it's all about the teachers having a purpose for why they put things in front of the students, for what purpose they're using it, and how they do it. So where are we headed with all this? Collaborative learning teams, purposeful collaborative learning teams, interdisciplinary units, not just science in science class. They're going to be writing about math